Hello there, welcome to Wrinkle Wrinkle Little Star. My name is Sam. Welcome to my little space on the internet. This is where I talk about being an older mom, reinventing the midlife crisis, reinventing the mum life crisis, discovering and dealing with trauma at a later stage in life, and kind of living my best life through my 40s, 50s and beyond. I hope you enjoy. Today we're going to go back, we're going to be retro. We're going to do a monthly favourites video. When I first started watching YouTube, which was probably in my late 20s, early 30s, I loved a favourites video. It's just, you know, when you're younger and like, do you ever do fact files when you were at school? And like, my favourite colour, my favourite food, my favourite this. It's fascinating seeing people's favourites, isn't it? So I don't know how fascinating my favourites will be, but I thought I'd show you anyway. I hope you enjoy. Let's get cracking. My first favourite is this. This is the Palmer's Coconut Oil Formula Coconut Hydrate Daily Body Lotion. Deeply moisturises skin. I needed a new body lotion. I didn't want to spend too much money, so I headed to Body Care, as we do when we don't want to spend too much money. Saw this, took a punt. I can't remember how much it was, but it was inexpensive. I love the pump because it makes it so much quicker in the morning just to pump a little bit out and smother it on. As we all know, as mums, we don't have a lot of time in the morning. It smells divine. It's coconutty without being overpowering. It's deeply moisturising, but it absorbs very quickly and very easily. Because again, we're in a rush. We haven't got time to stand there waiting for something to be absorbed into our skin. It makes my skin soft, supple. Love it. If you're looking for an inexpensive body lotion that reminds you of summer, this is a good one. There's something about autumn that makes you want nice, cosy, kind of satisfying warm drinks. Pumpkin spice latte does spring to mind. I'm trying to save a bit of money and not buy so many takeout coffees and so many coffees when I'm out and about. It's not massively working, I'll be honest, but I thought I'd try and find something as an alternative for when I'm at home that kind of feels indulgent, feels like a takeout coffee, so I feel like I'm treating myself. I've just bought myself a little keep warm mug because mine broke, so hopefully that might encourage me to take some of this instead of going and buying takeout coffee all the time. This is the chai latte powder, Drink Me Chai. It says it's spiced chai latte, natural and authentic. There's different ways you can make it. It says you can put it in with hot water, which is what I do. You can make an iced chai latte with cold milk. You can even use it in recipes as well, which I've not done, but I'm sure it'll be lovely. It just makes a nice kind of, it's not overly spicy, it's kind of Christmassy, kind of cinnamon, that kind of vibe. If you've had a chai latte in Starbucks, it's similar to that. And it's just nice to like cozy up with your book, and it just feels a little bit indulgent. I think this is about £2.50. You can get it from Tesco. I presume you can get it from Sainsbury's. You get quite a few drinks out of it, so it's just a lot better value than having takeout coffee. So if you are trying to beat your takeout obsession or addiction or whatever you want to call it, this might be a good call. I think I want to try and do 5 favourites each month because I think that's manageable without repeating myself. And for me, there is always going to be a food favourite in there because I love food, particularly this type of food, chocolate. We have tried to switch as much of our grocery shopping to Lidl because it's better value. I know some people prefer Aldi. Lidl for us is more convenient because it's just up the road from us. And I tend to find, I don't know if it's when I go shopping, but I tend to find in my local Aldi's, sometimes the fruit and vegetable isn't that fresh, where it tends to be more fresh in Lidl, but that may just be the time I go because I know other people find it brilliant. Anyway, Mr. H went shopping to Lidl one day and I said, oh, get me like a big block of chocolate, like something nice, and you know, I can have a few squares of an evening. And he came back with this. This is the Fincar, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, salted pretzel milk chocolate. There's none left in there, so I can't show it to you, but it is delicious. It's that nice mixture between chocolate and savoury. It's almost like it's trying to be a Tony's Chocolonely bar. Not saying it's copying it because it's not, it's different, but it's almost of that ilk, you know, their salted caramel, the way that that's kind of like the contrast between salty and sweet and creamy. It's the same kind of thing. Don't need that much of it, sort of 4 little squares is fine, like a little bar, and it's just that nice indulgent treat. You know, when you sit down, the kids are in bed, you've got the TV on, you just need a bit of something. highly recommend. And again, it's massively inexpensive. I'll put the prices for all these things down below because nothing in this haul is massively expensive, which is important at the moment because we've got gas and electricity bills to pay, haven't we? So I'll put the prices as well. There's probably always going to be a book in my monthly favourites as well. This is my current favourite and my current read. I've not finished it. I'm only about a quarter of the way through. The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. I've seen this recommended on so many kind of like trauma-informed Facebook groups, websites, etc, etc. And I love psychology, I love neuroscience, I love anything to do with the brain and like trauma-informed psychology, particularly with my background. I'd had heard this was quite hard going, so I was a bit nervous about starting it. I was excited and it had been on my bookshelf for a while and I really wanted to read it. But also I'd heard it was quite a hard-going book to read, so that kind of like put me off a little bit. It's not at all. I mean, I did psychology A-level and some of the stuff I had to read in there, oh my gosh. This is nowhere near that. It's written in a really accessible way. You do need to read it quite slowly because it's not technical, but there's a lot of detail. It's not one of those where you get some books that are really waffly. This book, kind of every word counts and explains something to paint a picture. But it just explains how people's experiences through trauma, whether that be, as I call it, like big T trauma or little t trauma, so war veterans, blah, 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 how it affects not just your mind, not just your psychology, but also your body. I can't talk fully about it yet because I've not finished reading it, but I will do a full review. And for me, it's just so illuminating. It's absolutely brilliant. So that is my favourite book at the minute. Got my little bookmark here that Elliot made me. My final favourite, I don't really have anything to show for it, but it is Beyonce's new album, the name of which I've completely forgot. Renaissance. I'm a huge Beyonce fan. I think she's amazing. She's just amazing. I've seen her in concert a few times and yes, she is amazing. So obviously every time there's a new album out, I get quite excited. On my first few listens, I wasn't sure. I'm going to be honest. I will say on my first listen, I listened to the non-explicit version because the kids were around. Don't do that because it misses out half the songs. Beyonce has come a long way since the Destiny's Child days, and a lot of her songs are quite sweary now, and particularly on this album. You kind of need the swear words to make it make sense. This is not an album to listen to if you've got kids in the room, unless you're just a really chill parent that doesn't mind their kids hearing swear words. I'm not. But it's grown on me. It's really, really grown on me. I mean, I loved You Can't Break My Soul. I mean, I'm adding extra words in. Break My Soul is what it's actually called. But, you know, I'm of that age now where I add the full sentence in clearly. How cringeworthy. That was amazing. And I think when you first listen to the album, the rest of the songs don't quite live up to that. That is definitely the main event of the album. But now I just can't get certain songs out of my head. It's quite sexy, it's quite disco, it's quite rap, it's quite naughty. Yeah, very much liking it. The trouble is I don't get that many opportunities to listen to it because the kids are normally in the car and it's very sweary. So whenever I do go in the car on my own, I do tend to listen to it quite loud, and I'm driving along with this kind of like sweary kind of R&B disco rap music going on, and people are looking at me going, oh, there's a middle-aged woman in a Hyundai listening to rap music. Curious, but I don't care. Yep, so that's this month's 5 favourites. It's September, in case you were wondering. It was the first day of autumn yesterday. Yeah, I'll try and keep doing these each month because I think it'll be interesting for me to look back on. Hopefully you found it interesting too. I'll leave links below for anything that's linkable. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And hopefully I'll be speaking to you again soon. Have a fantastic October. Well, I'll speak to you before that, won't I? I feel like I'm on those phone calls. You go, oh, have a nice holiday if I don't speak to you before. Oh, I'll speak to you before, won't I? See ya.